All right, today we're talking about knowing when you've done a good job and really valuing the outcome of your efforts. So here's what I see. I see too many of you just undervaluing your success. For example, you're putting on client events, you are delivering trainings, you're being successful on the projects that you're running, and what's happening is you have a very cursory view of what you did, the role you played, and how responsible you were for making the event a success. So I'm not seeing from you enough ownership of the success that you are creating. And what goes hand in hand with that is I'm not seeing enough intentional learning from the experiences that you have while creating that success. And this is what I want to encourage, I want to change for you in this episode. So this is a big deal inside Be the First, my career progression coaching program for mid to senior level Black lawyers. It relates to vital skill, vital step number 5, which is showcasing your value. Now, for those of you who are new to me, I teach you 5 vital steps for progressing your career as a Black lawyer. I have coached so many hours, so many years, so many of you on how to progress. I know exactly what you need to focus your attention on, and I know exactly what you don't need to worry about. So I've made it really clear, really simple, very easy for you to always know exactly what you need to be working on to progress your career. And so showcasing your value is vital step number 5. And that's where how you're treating your internal success, how you're treating the success you're creating in the workplace, the way in which you are undervaluing it, that's where that comes in. That's why this is important. Because every time you undervalue a piece of success, every time you don't learn from that success and use it to grow, you are missing an opportunity to increase your value, to articulate your value, to showcase your value, that critical 5th step. So inside Be the First, then, the way we talk about showcasing your value is we have a very clear goal. And that goal is for you to become an irresistible candidate for promotion, right? Showcasing your value, not for the sake of it, but to show people how valuable you are, and to be so valuable that they cannot resist promoting you. This is what we're going for. And so one of the ways we achieve that is by treating every single success that you have, every achievement, every accomplishment. And I also help you to see what is an achievement, an accomplishment, and a success, because a lot of you are going through your day-to-day job and you're completely missing those, not seeing them at all. You're winning all the time, you don't even realize it. So that's one of the things I help you do, is to notice that you're winning and succeeding. So what we do is we treat every one of those successes as an opportunity to make yourself more valuable and therefore become more irresistible. Yeah, in furtherance to further that goal of you becoming an irresistible promotion candidate. But all of this, you can't do any of that if you're just undermining your contribution and thinking, oh, well, I think it was okay. Which brings me to the topic of, or the title rather, of this episode. I think it went well. These were the words from that particular client who inspired this episode when she was talking about this amazing panel event that she put on. When we got back into the room, I'm coaching her in Be the First, and I asked her, right, how did it go? What's the feedback? She's like, yeah, I think it went well. People said it was quite good and I did a good job. And I said, okay, tell me more. And she's like, yeah, well, that was it really. I think it went well. And I did what I often do, is I just looked at her with an expression of my face that says, and what else? I want more. What else do you have to say about that? And she looked at me blankly. And I thought, right, here is some really hard, important coaching that I need to give her. And I'm going to share with you about the importance of, you've got to have a better evaluation of something, particularly something that's significant, something that you have done. You need to have a grasp on how well you did and why. You want to know exactly how well it went. Not, I think it went well. People seem to find it good or interesting. They seem to like it. I know exactly what went well. It was a huge success, and here's why. You want to have that certainty. And in order to have that certainty, what you need to do is actually take the time to evaluate the event. Inside Be the First, what we call this, and this is what I want to offer as a tool that you then take forward. And when you join Be the First, I'll teach it you like in detail and how you implement it. But what you want to be doing after every single event or opportunity that you've had to showcase value is you want to mine the gold. I'll come back to what that means in a minute. But let me just clarify what you're going to get out of this session. Number one, you're going to recognize the importance of owning your success. I think I've gone on about that quite a lot, so you'll be getting that message loud and clear. You have to own your success. It's not enough to wait for someone else to validate you. It's not enough to hope that people will feed it back to you. We are talking about progressing your career as a senior Black lawyer. This does not happen by accident. It doesn't happen because you wait for other people to tell you how great you are and that you did a good job. It has to happen because you can evaluate, rather it happens because you have the ability to evaluate your performance, see what you did well, use that to build your confidence in doing that thing again and again and again, getting better and better at it. And also be able to identify areas for improvement for yourself that you can then go and develop and improve. Okay, areas for improvement that you can improve. You know what I'm saying. It's very important that you are in that, I want to say mindset, that you have that self-concept. What you will be hearing in my voice or seeing if you're watching me on video is just a certainty, a confidence, both over like a confidence around what you've done well, right? And being able to own that and it be okay for you to say, I did this really well and know why, and be able to articulate that, right? And not worry, that makes me sound arrogant. Oh, does that sound like I'm full of myself? Oh, are people going to think I'm cocky? Like, we're beyond that now. At this level, you have to recognize your own value, your own successes. You have to be able to validate yourself. So there's that element, but also the confidence that comes with, do you know what, that bit I could have done better. That bit did not go as planned. That bit I was disappointed by, and next time I'm going to do this differently. Both of these things are what is going to be required of you and what I teach you inside Be the First as a key part of what your value is and key contributors to your ability to showcase your value. Because what is showcasing your value if not being able to talk about it, talk about what you do well, be able to articulate it, and actually alongside that, talk about what you are getting better at, right? How your value is increasing. So you're going to recognize the importance of owning your success. And I want for you at the end of this, for you to start to see every success that you have as an opportunity to build confidence and increase your value. So this is the coaching that I gave my client. I said to her, you're missing an opportunity here. Yes, you've raised your profile. Yes, you have showcased your value, right, at that event. So you've hit two, the raising the profile is all part of being visible, right? So she'd hit 2 of the 5 vital steps for progressing as a Black lawyer. So that's fantastic. But my point was, there is so much more that you can get out of this opportunity. It was for her a great opportunity to build her confidence further, a great opportunity to be able to say what she's good at, articulate her value. And as I've already mentioned, a great opportunity for her to be like, oh, I'm going to get better at this. This I could have done differently. So therefore, increase her value. And none of this happens by default. For you, as just as for my client, you have to decide to do it, be intentional. So what I want to offer you as the solution then, as I've hinted at previously, is that you mine the gold. Treat every success, and also I teach this as part of how you treat failure and you bounce back from failure. You treat every experience as something that you want to extract the maximum amount of value from it that you possibly can. And where it's a success, there is so much gold to be extracted. It is such a waste for you not to spend the time on this. So I'm going to give you a process. I'm going to give you 4 steps that I encourage you to start to implement, start to follow. They're not time consuming, but they are important. So every time you have a win, every time you have a success, and by the way, there is no such thing as a win that's too small. I say to my clients inside Be the First, and you'll be exactly the same. It's like if you get up in the morning and you get yourself out of bed and get into the office when you did not feel like it and it's the last thing you wanted to do, that, my friend, is a win. We will count that, right? It shows your perseverance. It shows your resilience. It shows your how like committed you are to your job. There's so much value in just being able to get out of bed and go into the office, even just when you didn't feel like it. So there's no such thing as a win that's too small. We count everything. So here are the 4 steps that I want to offer you. And you can have them like just bullet pointed, put them on a post-it on your desktop so that whenever something happens where you're like able to see that you did well, able to say, oh, actually that went okay. Like really encourage you to mine that experience for gold. It seems, and it will seem at the beginning, like a bit over the top. It might seem like the win that is like you want to apply this process to doesn't seem like a big deal, or it's like, oh, I'm making a big fuss out of nothing. Don't let your brain tell you that. Don't let your brain undermine what you have done. We want to get the gold out of every experience. So here are the 4 steps. Number 1, celebrate the win. You've got to find what was great about it. What was the win? Don't rush to the next thing without taking a moment to celebrate, to recognize it, okay? So celebrate what you did as a win. Take you 2 seconds. Yeah, that was a win. See how easy that was? It was a win. I'm recording this podcast. It's nearly 6 o'clock. I have to be at yoga in half an hour, and I know I'm going to be able to make it. I'm really just pleased to have got this done in time before I go off. And I'm like, yes, that's a win. I'm going to get my podcast recorded before going to yoga. You see, everything is a win. If you know how to look for it, what to look for, you'll find wins everywhere. So the first step is to celebrate the win. Don't rush on into the next thing. The second thing to do is to recognize the value that this win adds to who you are. In Be the First, we call it celebrating the wins, recognizing the wanes. Yeah, who are you as a result of that win? For my client, she's now the person who can she can organize a panel event. She can get clients to come to it. She can facilitate the panel, the panel of speakers, of senior speakers. Like, she has so much capability. And so what's important is she recognizes that she's now a person who can do that. It's the first time she's done it. Now she knows she can do it again. It's like me. I've managed to get my podcast. I'm halfway through recording it, but I will get to the end of it. I know I'm going to finish it before I go to yoga. So I'm going to identify as the person who can produce my podcast no matter what before I go to yoga. That's going to be so useful for me next week. When it's time and other things come up and it feels like the deadline is tight, I'm going to be able to draw on my experience of having done it before, right? Let's say I'm here this time next week on a Tuesday. So being able to recognize who you are as a result of your win, that's you internalizing your success. And what both of those things are going to do, celebrating the win and recognizing the value of that win, is it's going to build your confidence, because every time we celebrate ourselves, we become more confident. We like that, people. We need that. We need to source our own confidence. But what it's also going to do is help you be able to talk about what you've done. So when you are able to recognize the value it adds to who you are, you're able to say, I am someone who can get a piece of work done within a time frame. Like, I am someone who can record a podcast. This is a selling point for me. Yeah, I can put on a production. I can deliver value. I can talk about this as part of my value now that I've had the experience of this win. So can you see how that works? Celebrating your win, recognizing the wane, the who am I now, that is you practicing, if you like, talking about what your value is, internalizing that value, being able to communicate it. The third step I want to offer is that you evaluate. Please evaluate. I always encourage you to evaluate your fails, but I want you to evaluate your wins as well. Look for the opportunities for improvement. Because what you're doing when you evaluate your wins is, and you're looking for the areas you could have improved, what you could have done differently, is when you find that thing, what you'll do differently next time to make it even better, you are increasing your value. You are getting better and better at it. And that, by the way, it's the same thing if you're also evaluating a failure, right? You knowing what you'll do differently and going in and doing that the second time around, you've increased your value. You've become the person who doesn't make that mistake again, or you become the person that does something to a higher level because of, like, you saw the opportunity to raise your game, and that's what you now do. The next time you come to it, you have that knowledge, you have the experience of having done it, which makes you more valuable. Like me recording the podcast, I'm now on episode 96, but every time I record the podcast, I become more valuable. I've done it more times. I'm learning from the experience. I listen back on the podcast and I make a mental note of things that, I need to do that better. Yeah. And so I do it the following week better. That makes me a more valuable podcaster, for example. And then the fourth one I want to offer is that you ask for feedback. Do not settle for someone saying, yeah, you did a good job. Yeah, that went really well. Get proper, tangible feedback. Ask them why. Ask them what they liked about it, what they think you did best, what they think you could improve. If possible, get to sit down with some people, like have a proper conversation where it's an actual debrief, especially if you've co-created the event together. As a little aside and a bonus, it's a great way of building your relationship with those panelists, right? The people who you put on that event with. So for my client, this was a great way for her to reconnect with the partners in her group, get their feedback. What did they find? What worked well for them as panelists? What would they have asked her or liked her to have done differently? But it creates so much trust, really helps to build your relationship. And it's going to give you concrete words, concrete feedback about how brilliant a job you did. And it's going to give you concrete feedback about what you can do better. Both of which are going to, between the two of them, increase your confidence and make you more valuable. So increase your value. So that's the 4-step process I want to share with you. You celebrate the wins, you recognize the wins, you evaluate for yourself. So you're giving your own feedback. And then you ask for feedback, you get it from elsewhere. And all of that's going to increase your confidence. It's going to increase your value. And here's the result that you are going to get, right? Not only are you going to have more confidence and more value, be more valuable, it's going to make showcasing that value so much easier. You're going to have the confidence to do it, but also you're going to know how to speak to your value now, know how to speak to experiences that you've had. So my client now, for example, she can now speak very articulately to the experience of putting on a panel event, bringing in, like in support of her business development case, right, for partnership, talk about bringing in clients, putting on an event, getting the buy-in from partners, interviewing them on the panel, the visibility that created for her, the visibility she created for the group and for the firm. And she's got very now concrete, tangible words that she can use, quotations that she can use when talking about her values, showcasing it, particularly in any partnership interview, but also in conversation when sharing the benefit of her experience. So the result you're going to get, honestly, from just slowing down, really recognizing and appreciating when you have had a win, when you've done something successful, great. I want to say when you've done something great, you may not see it that way, but I want you to look for what was great about it. How was this an amazing success? Think back to your most recent event, your most recent challenge or thing you found hard. Like, what was great about it? How was it a win for you? And what does that say about you now? Yeah. And what is your evaluation of what you could do better next time, of how you're going to improve? And what's the evaluation you can get, the feedback you can get from other people about how you can improve? So your confidence grows, your value grows, you get better at showcasing your value. And when you get better at showcasing your value, the more value that people see you have, the more irresistible you will be as a promotion candidate. And that's what we want. That's what we're working towards inside Be the First, especially with this vital step number 5, showcasing your value. So, my friend, the next time your answer to the question, how did it go? The next time you want to say, I think it went well. Yeah, pretty good. Catch yourself. Remember this episode. Remember your responsibility to yourself to properly appreciate and recognize and value the success you have created, and to mine every experience for the confidence it will give you and the value it will add to what you already have. Like the value it will increase within you. It is quite late on a Tuesday evening, But this has been a short but very sweet, very important episode. Don't let my tongue twisting just there at the end undermine the importance of this work. So many of you have barriers to showcasing your value that are really about you not really recognizing your value and not feeling confident enough to talk about it. This, my friend, what I've shared with you in this episode is how you have the confidence to do it. It is how you know how to talk about it. So heed my words, follow that process, and better still, more importantly, if you are a mid to senior level Black lawyer, you want to progress your career, you want to progress to that next level, join me inside Be the First. I walk you through every step of this. So I literally help you with those, don't just give you the process, I help you implement it. I coach you on it. So this becomes a skill that you can do in your sleep and something you get to take with you at every single level. And you too then become this irresistible promotion candidate, which is what we're aiming for. It's what you come to me for. It's what I help you become. All right, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you found that valuable. As always, if you have any questions, just DM me on social media. You can find me. I'm at Caroline Flanagan. I'm always wearing a red dress, got a smiley face, always ready and open to receive your questions or comments. And one last thing you're going to find in the show notes or in the comments to this post or this video, I'm going to leave a link to the progression audit. This is a free quiz. You can see probably see my dog in the background if you're watching this on YouTube. He's getting a bit fed up with me being in my office. You have access, yes, I'm giving you access to this free quiz, if you like, that's going to help you see if you're ready to progress. Most importantly, it's going to show you the areas, the foundational, the support, right? The 4 pillars that you need to support you to progress in a way that is stable and sustainable. It's going to show you which one of those areas, if any, needs your attention. Because one of the things I pride myself on, it's very important, is that as I help you progress and you get more and more results when we work on the strategy for taking you to the next level, we make sure we're taking care of what's important and what sustains you underneath the surface. So confidence in who you are, being able to do your day job, right, with ease, being able to have some sort of balance. I couldn't remember this at the end of the last episode, but being able to balance between work and home and have not one of those completely distort the other, and being able to have or having the support around you, people in your corner to support you or catch you if you fall. Really, really important to have those 4 pillars just to make sure we're looking after them. And this is something I make sure we do right at the beginning. We do that audit. You get the chance to do it free so you can see for yourself. And we build whatever work you need to do on any of those 4 pillars, we build that into your progression plan. So you know that you're progressing your career, yes, but you're also always taking care of yourself, taking care of your life. Any progression that you do make when you make it is sustainable. All right, my friend, that's it from me this week. It's been my pleasure, as always. I will be back this time next week. I'll actually probably be on holiday this time next week, but I will be back still, but I will have recorded this ahead of time. So I cannot wait for what's coming. Can't wait for you. I'm excited for what's coming next over the next few weeks. We'll be talking a lot about what's happening inside Be the First, teaching you lots of the concepts so that you're ready and excited to join when I open enrollment on the 21st of August, 2025. Save the date. Don't forget, we have a September start. This is for the September 2025 class. Save that date. You'll have 7 days within which to enroll in the next cohort. I can't wait to see you in the room. Bye for now.